Well, welcome to Dare to Disagree, your weekly episodic podcast where us average Joes with a brilliance take on the topics that people can't solve and we fix it for you. Because you motherfuckers are smart, dumb, I don't know. Anyway, uh, I am not the host this week. That'll be to another person, Jonathan Esther out of California.
And I am the host, but I still don't do this. Is Alone in the Dark out of beautiful Colorado.
And this is Puppet Master. Again, I don't think you care where I live.
All right. Actually, let me start this week's episode. I have kind of a topic slash rant.
Cutting in line. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. So here we go. What do all these people have in common? Christian Bale, Marlon Brando, Nicolas Cage, Daniel Day-Lewis, Robert De Niro, Johnny Depp, Marilyn Monroe, Jack Nicholson, and Al Pacino.
They're all left-handed.
That's a good guess, but not that I know of.
They're all white.
They very much are, but not the point. They are all of the school of acting known as method. Are you guys familiar with this style of acting?
Method acting, yeah.
Yeah. For people that don't know, method acting is basically when an actor puts himself into the position of that character. So they'll make their regular life match the character they're acting to make a more realistic depiction of the character. For example, when Heath Ledger, who's also a method actor, wanted to become the Joker, he locked himself in a hotel room for a month to feel psychosis. You know, when Daniel Day-Lewis wanted to become what was he acting? One of the gangs in New York guys. He went around cursing like a sailor and acting like his character in real life to everybody in the crew. So it was just an asshole to everyone. Even Jim Carrey, who doesn't usually method act, when he did method acting to become Andy Kaufman, the comedian. Nobody saw the movie Man on the Moon, I'm gonna guess.
No.
Well, Jim Carrey had a movie Man on the Moon where he acted like a famous comedian called Andy Kaufman, who was like a really avant-garde comedian. Like one of the things he did, for example, was on Saturday Night Live, one of the skits he did when he hosted the show was he sat down and read an entire chapter from a classic novel. So the joke was people were expecting a joke that he never gave. He just read the book.
That must have been pretty difficult for Jim Carrey to act like a famous comedian.
Actually, yes. Yes, it was. No. Because Andy Kaufman was not a normal comedian. He was one of those guys that, like, took his former... This was before hashtags and all that shit. So he was one of the few people that you could say actually went viral. Like, he started a feud with a wrestler. I can't remember which wrestler. I will guess the Iron Sheik, but I'm sure I'm wrong. He started like a feud with the wrestler that was so intense till this day the wrestler doesn't like him. He did it as a gag, but he took it all the way to actually generating hate from this wrestler towards him. So I bring up Jim Carrey to make the point that Jim Carrey, when trying to act like Andy Kaufman, went to that wrestler and generated that feud again to the point where he spit in that wrestler's face. This was not on camera or anything. This was off on his own, met the wrestler, kept the feud going, spit on it because he was trying to be like Andy Kaufman in and out of camera.
Damn.
So what's this rant about then?
Damn.
That he spit in the wrestler's face or what?
No. My rant is all those people I named are shitty actors. Now, I understand that might make some people uncomfortable and weirded out. So let me first start by defining what I consider actor. Actually, let me start by telling you the good in this. The goodies, these people have done bodies of work that are amazing in themselves. Their movies are impressive. Their personalities and the characters they portray in the movies are amazing. Which to most people, they would say, well, that was acting. Then they're great actors, right? My problem with that is, my definition of actor is a man who can turn a character on and off. If you're an actor, I should be able to walk up in a bedroom while you're asleep. If you're a professional actor, whip out a camera and say, I need you to be a beautiful lady for the next 5 minutes, and I need you to seduce me. And that actor's job is in those 5 minutes to seduce me. But when that camera goes off, if he keeps fucking seducing me, he's not an actor. He's a maniac.
Here's my thing, man.
I don't know if I.
No. And I get the point where most people go. They'll go, well, technically that's still acting, right? Well, here's what I'm gonna say. If I take you there, Puppet Master, or you, Alone in the Dark, and for the next week, I tell you, hey, we're gonna film a movie, right? And in that movie, you're gonna be an action star. And then for the next week, all I do is take you around shooting guns, running around doing all that. Are you really acting anymore, or have you literally trained for that? I don't know if my point kind of makes sense here. I think there's a difference between turning a character on and off and literally trying to become that character. I don't think that's acting. I think that's a form of psychosis, to be quite honest.
Here's my thing, man. Okay, let's say I hire a prostitute. Okay, now her job is to get my nut off. Okay, now if she does that by sucking my dick or massaging my feet, if she gets that nut off, then she's done her job. So
True.
Just play that character in the movie, then they did their job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I didn't say they're not actors. They're actors. They're just shitty actors.
Look, hey, Jonathan Esther, check it out. I've known you how long, man, and you've been trying to act black for so many years. And you alone should know that sometimes method acting is needed, is warranted.
No, and that's kind of why. I'll be honest with you. This is one of the few topics I did a little bit of research before I came to you guys, because I had to figure out how to articulate the thought. When I had the thought, my first reaction was, well, that's dumb, because they're in a movie, they're acting, they make great characters, that's acting. But then it hit me where the thought came from. The definition of acting in here is not straight out. I mean, what you're basically saying, like what Alone in the Dark just said, is the general definition of acting that people have, which is, as long as that character on screen is amazing, he's a great actor in my book. Which, I'm not going to say that they don't have a point. Of course they have a point. But my argument is this. I think a great actor is one that doesn't need to go that far. A great actor is a person that can bring a character out of nowhere, maybe rehearse a little. That's fine. I understand if you go off, take an hour or two a day, try to dial down an accent, or try to dial down a look, or try to dial down an emotion. I get that. That makes sense. But to change your entire personal life. Daniel Day-Lewis, when he was trying to play the role of Lincoln, of Abraham Lincoln in the movie Lincoln, he became so entranced with the character, he would end his text messages with A for Abraham Lincoln, and he would speak only the way Abraham Lincoln would have spoken for the entire time.
Well, you know, Abraham Lincoln did end his text messages just like that.
I figured that was the case. But
I got a question for you there, Mr.
Shoot.
So let's say you have two actors playing the same part, okay? Both of them are acting like Abraham Lincoln. We'll just go with that, okay? One does method acting and makes an incredible Abraham Lincoln that is just real true to life. You really believe he's there. The other one doesn't do method acting. He just does the straight up, you know, turns it on and off acting and does a mediocre Abraham Lincoln. Who's the better actor?
Oh, that's obviously going to be the method actor. But it's the same argument as when people say, okay, who succeeds more? The guy who works hardest or the guy with the most talent?
Usually the guy with the
That's
most
the-
talent. I mean,
That's
it can really
debatable.
go
That
both
depends what we're
ways.
talking about.
Yeah.
Mhm. All right, let's choose an easy one to distinguish. In a sports, any sport, pick your flavor of sport. Who succeeds the most? The player who works the hardest or the player with the most talent?
Usually the player that works the hardest, man. I
Correct.
mean,
In sports,
okay.
yeah, in sports, usually the player who works the hardest tends to be more successful, right? But if you were to see, let's say, the player who works hardest with the player, okay, let's say Kobe doesn't really work on his jump shot for a while. Now we all know Kobe. Can we all agree that Kobe is talented? Not just good at his sport due to practice. He's actually talented. He has an affinity to the game better than people who have that affinity for the game. Can we agree on that?
Absolutely. He's been accused of rape, from a fucking white woman, and is not in jail right now. He's pretty talented.
What black man hasn't been accused of rape from a white
But those motherfuckers go to jail. He's still free.
So my point is this: if you take old Kobe right now, who hasn't practiced in a couple of months, even with the experience he has, added to the talent, and you take young Jacoby Jones, who's been playing 4 years at Duke University and has been practicing his butt off every single day. But Jacoby Jones doesn't really have the talent Kobe does, and Kobe is out of practice. Who wins 9 times out of 10 in that game? Obviously, this is going to be debatable, but who do you think wins in general? The general consensus.
Well, Jacoby Jones plays football, so probably.
No. I was just throwing a random name.
Okay.
Calm down with your specifics, yo. The name that popped in my head was Jacoby Jones. I didn't think he was actually a football player, too.
So you're talking about a quarterback.
No,
right?
no, not at all. Not at all. Look, the point I'm making is this, man. Under a circumstance with the least amount of preparation, usually the more talented person will outdo the harder worker with little preparation, right?
Well, look,
Okay.
I would-
Okay.
Method acting is like that guy that works really hard to prep for the role. Is he going to be ready due to his dedication? Absolutely. No questions about it. He'll be ready for the role and he'll be dedicated in the role. I don't think that translates into he is talented.
See,
I think he is more, I would argue that he's more committed than talented.
I would
Hence,
argue.
shitty acting.
I would argue that the ability to method act is a talent in itself.
I could agree with that. I will say there's a certain amount of discipline that a method actor has that probably a more talented actor doesn't have. I'd agree with that.
And usually all the talented actors who make you believe, their fucking role are method actors. Leonardo DiCaprio, for instance, he's a method actor, and why he hasn't won an Oscar is beyond me. And he's one of the best fucking actors out there.
That's been a running joke for a long time.
Yeah, and he's a method actor. I've seen just a small portion of Wolf on Wall Street, and if he didn't believe a fucking coked up white guy more than he did, then he probably is a coked up white guy.
That scene in that movie when he's putting the straw up that girl's butt, man, you could not method act more than that, baby.
Yeah.
That's about as method as you can get.
All he did was hang out with Justin Bieber to get that.
I mean,
But-
I dropped in late on the conversation, but it seems like I prefer method actors, to be quite honest with you. Somebody who takes their role really seriously, and I prefer that more than anything.
No, my argument.
Okay.
My point wasn't that method actors don't do an amazing job. In fact, I started off by saying they make some of the most memorable characters. But my argument was, I don't think that's talented acting. I think that's shitty acting. I think the result is fantastic. Get it how you want it. I mean, if the best way for you to write an essay paper is to snort cocaine all night long and you write the most amazing essay paper because you're out of your mind on drugs, that doesn't mean that you were talented at writing that essay. That means you were out of your mind on drugs. Just like method acting, I don't think method acting actually translates into this guy is a talented actor. I think it translates into this guy is very committed at acting great.
Here's my issue with what you're saying here. You're not saying that him being a method actor proves that he's not a talented actor. That's understandable, but you're saying him being a method actor makes him a shitty actor. That doesn't make any sense. That's like saying if my accountant, hey, instead of my accountant being super good at math and right from the get-go, it turns out that he had to go to school for freaking 15 years and got all this advanced education and all this experience, and now he's a great CPA, but you're a shitty accountant because you weren't naturally good at math. You know, that calling him a shitty actor because he works really hard to get his character, that's a good actor. He's not naturally talented. Well, I mean, you know, high-level actors, I think, all have some form of natural talent. But what you're asking for is like a miraculous. They just need to walk up, immediately know how to act, and drop into any fucking character without having to work for it. That probably doesn't even fucking exist. And
I know, but
if they had to work for it, doesn't make them a shitty actor. That's the opposite. That makes them a good actor because they work their ass off to get to it.
Yeah, to have them, you know, for certain characters walk a certain way, talk a certain way, to do that often and to actually get that to the point where that's actually the way you fucking talk and walk on a daily basis for a role, that's pretty goddamn talented, you know. Pretty damn talented.
Relate this to music, all right? With your theory that because they did drugs, they made good music, they are actually a shitty musician.
Aerosmith.
That labels just about all the musicians in the last 40 years, man.
Fucking Aerosmith. Aerosmith is drugs. Sweet Emotion, they ain't nothing but drugs. Aerosmith is drugs, man. I mean, not that they suck, but it's just that, you know, drugs just enhance their fucking lyrics. I'm not saying that they suck because they need the drugs to fucking write these great lyrics. And I'm not saying they need the drugs to write these great lyrics, but motherfuckers is probably high most of the time writing this shit. But that doesn't make them a shitty band, though. You know what I'm saying?
So just as a quick consensus here, I think we all disagree with Mr. Esther here that because these people are method acting that they're shitty actors. I think we could say he's fully redundant, right?
Yeah.
I think I've been thoroughly disagreed with. That solves that issue.
I mean, and name one non-method actor who is really that fucking good.
Tom Cruise isn't very method.
I mean,
fucking horrible.
Okay. He's terrible though. He's okay. He's not really the best. I mean, he had that one.
Is Tom Cruise considered a terrible actor now?
I mean, he's not really considered a great actor.
That's not the way the world handles it.
That motherfucker is.
I don't really care what the world thinks about him.
Okay, wait. You guys had me completely settled until this Tom Cruise thing came up. Because if we're going with the general consensus, then Tom Cruise is a good actor, right?
I mean, sure, but
he's got a couple really good ones, but he's got some shitty fucking movies too.
But okay. I think what you're getting hung up on is something that actually also bothers me, which is okay. I'm gonna use this new DC movie called not Sinister Six. What's it called?
Green Lantern.
Suicide Squad. There's a new DC movie coming out called The Suicide Squad, in which there's going to be the Joker and all that is from the Batman universe. Well, one of the main characters in that storyline is Deadshot, a guy who uses guns but has I'm just kind of saying for the general public, who uses guns and has kind of like the ability and talent, not as good as Batman, but comparable on that level. So that guy they've announced is going to be played by Will Smith. And one of the greatest concerns with everybody is this going to be Deadshot played by Will Smith or Will Smith playing Deadshot? I don't know if anybody gets what I just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
where you got certain people that when you put them in a role, they can't help but be themselves. Like Al Pacino. If you put Al Pacino in any role, you're gonna get this at some point. Ooh, me. Come on now. Come on now. That's an Al Pacino. He can't help it. That's part of him as the person. And it doesn't matter whether he's playing a coked out dirty cop or he's playing a Catholic priest. That's going to come out.
But those are still good movies.
which brings us back to the Tom Cruise point. I think that's your problem with him.
You're right. I honestly he doesn't do enough method acting. Maybe he and maybe he might be that much better.
Oh, you could be right. Hey, you guys. I just the thought just hit me, and I thought it was very curious. I want to know what you guys would have said.
Yeah, even Liam
Now I
Neeson
know.
was probably going to play him.
It's a bad mentality to have because what you're saying is unless you're actually something, you can never be good at it.
No. What I was saying is that's why I was hoping I had fixed that by saying they have had memorable roles. What I was trying to say is nobody can question these guys' dedication, but I don't think these guys should be called great actors. I think, which by the way, you guys have already cleared that up. I'm wrong, but what I was saying is, if you are a person, like if you work hard, I think there's a man who's very dedicated to the cause, a basketball player who's done many years in the league. He's never been an elite basketball player, but he's a good basketball player. But I think greats should be rare. I think legends should be rare. I think amazing actors should be a rarity.
But classifying them as rare just for the sake of having a rarity shouldn't take away from the fact that there are plenty of actors that you could put in that class as rare.
Point.
I mean,
There are rare players in sports, and you can't take that away from them. Sports and acting, I think there's way more better actors than there are sports players out there.
I might be valuing the egg more than the goose. You're right.
Yep.
Yeah, consensus is you're full of shit. So
Wow, that was unnecessary, but sure, go ahead there, Alone in the Dark.
next topic, okay, and this is gonna be mine now, okay. How do you guys feel about tipping?
Tipping like waitresses?
Like, yeah, exactly. Tipping waitresses, bartenders, shit like that.
It's absolutely disgusting.
Wait. What color are you there, Co-Conscience?
I am Mexican, matter of fact.
It's what I thought. Go ahead.
No, explain yourself. Why don't you like tipping?
No, I'm joking. I just wanted to say something stupid. No, actually, I believe tipping is a very important part because they don't really make a lot of money, and usually all that money comes from tip most of the time. So anytime I have a chance to, I usually tip them like 25 cents, something like that. Nothing really too big, but it's a joke. I
tip. He still said that. You said that too proudly, man. Too proudly. 25 cents. Nothing too big. Keep him humble. Humble brag.
No, but no. Seriously,
Hashtag humble brag.
No, really. On a serious note, if it wasn't always serious before, I actually do. I tip pretty big. When I have it, I got to tip them like $10. $15. It's a big part.
What about you, Mr. Puppet Master?
I think tipping is a great tool for motivated good service. I can see where it could be a problem, but I think you got to look at it from the customer and the server's point of view. It's one of those things where a lot of servers are like, I just got sipped, and sometimes they end up going in the red, and that's bad, and I understand that, but I served for a while. Everyone in my family served, and we know I will tell you that I made more money serving than I did working in the kitchen. And that money, I don't even have to claim most of it. So,
And I can't thank you enough for your service, sir.
get the fuck out of here. But you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, I got a brother-in-law that when he gets to the restaurant, he'll put 10 $1 bills right in the middle of the table. And as that server fucks up, he'll take $1 away each time. So they watch their tip disappear.
Damn!
Yeah.
That is fucking Jesus Christ.
That's kind of.
You
That's
motherfucker
kind of a.
cold shit.
Put a little note on the table. I want to play a game with you with that puppet from what
Saw.
was that freaking movie?
Saw.
Saw, yeah. Like, let's play a game. You put the $15 tip. Hi, how you doing? Your teeth ain't clean. Take $1 away.
But no, check it out. Look. If that incentive to go above and beyond and be a good server isn't there, they're not going to give you the quality of service that you expect when you go out to eat with your family.
Right.
They're not.
Right.
Even if their employer pays them, you know what their employer pays them? They will say they give them $15 an hour. Well, that's $15 an hour. But when I was serving tables, I made like probably $3 to $4 more an hour than that when I was serving. So I made more money by getting paid just shitty wages from my employer, but all those tips made up for it. Even after I tipped out the busser, the dishwasher, the cooks, that stuff made a difference, and I made way more money doing that than if I would expect the employer to pay me $15 an hour.
Yeah. And here's my thing. I gotta be honest. I've never worked a job that got tips like that. I've never worked any job that you receive tips for. Okay.
Me neither.
So that's gonna be my angle here. But here's my issue. Okay. There's a lot of people. I think the majority of people can handle the business of tipping, where your tips are providing the actual living wage for the server. Okay,
Right.
if you don't tip them, the tip isn't extra. That's actually what's paying them to fucking work. I think a lot of people can handle it, but I do think there's a good percentage of the freaking population, kind of like your brother-in-law, who I would fucking smack in the face if I ever went to fucking eat with. I can't stand that shit. But there's a certain percentage of the population who just do not fucking understand that concept. And there's a lot of people who make up excuses. Well, I wanted to go out and eat, and I could barely afford the meal, but I could go out, but I just couldn't afford the tip.
That's bullshit.
And I hear a lot of people say that shit. That's garbage. Which is why I don't like. To me personally, I think a tip should be for above and beyond service. If I go to a restaurant and the waitress just serves me my meal and does that, you know what? She should be getting paid by the company. That should be coming out of the cost of my meal to pay my waitress. And if she just does a regular job, then she gets her regular pay. If she does an amazing job, then I have the opportunity to tip her. But if I don't tip her, I'm not taking away from her livelihood,
Right.
And if she does a shitty job, then like any fucking job you work for, if you do a shitty job long enough, they're gonna fucking fire you. But it's a manager that makes that decision that you don't get paid anymore, not some fucking customer who probably is on fucking WIC or some shit, is a piece of shit themselves, and is gonna make this decision for somebody else's livelihood,
Right. So what is going above and beyond for you to get somebody a tip, or what's going above and beyond for you as far as like being a waiter or waitress?
Who's that directed at?
See now, for
I'm
me,
only dog.
if a waitress or a waiter or
Really everybody. But,
if they have a personality, like if they're coming up and being like entertaining at the table, that's not something they have to do. Their job is just to get my food out there, make sure my drinks are full. That's it. Now, mind you, I'm not saying that I don't tip when I go out. I do tip pretty reasonably, pretty heavily usually, because my family's worked in the service industry, shit like that, and I know that these people need that. It's just I wish it was more a, hey, oh my God, this bartender was a great personality, was telling jokes, this and that. I'm gonna leave something extra for him. Not this is your actual pay for fucking serving me. you know. And I've tipped people when I'm not even allowed. We do the grocery delivery. People bring groceries to your door. I fucking hate grocery shopping. You're not allowed to tip them. You're paying a delivery fee, but I fucking tip them every time too. They're walking the shit right to my door. You know, that's doing something nice. You know, but I just hate that people rely on tips for their actual wages for doing this fucking job. And I don't think it should be that way, you know? I think a tip should be from me to you as something you go above and beyond, and I acknowledge that and I'm paying you. Your living wage should come from your freaking company just like everybody else's does. You know, if you're doing a bad job, then your company's going to reprimand you or fire you because you're not doing your fucking job. Not me deciding now after the fact, after you did your job, no, you're not getting paid for that shit. You know, I mean, think about this in any other fucking industry, you know? My fucking my accountant does my taxes, and then I'm like, you know what, you didn't really smile enough during this whole thing. I'm not going to pay you for this several hours of work you just did. Sorry. Yeah, no, thank you for doing my taxes, though. We don't do that at any other fucking job except for these, you know, certain service-based things that we just decided, hey, fuck it, dude, they're going to survive on tips, you know? I think it's kind of bullshit, and it's leaving the power in a lot of shitty people's fucking hands, you know?
Well, I understand where you're coming from, but, you know, I've actually tried to tip people that aren't allowed to get tips, and they're real adamant about it because they'll get fired for that shit. So, you know, now what you've done is you take that ability for them to get tips completely away by giving them the pay from their employer. Not all the time, but it's still a possibility. The lady at Albertson that did the flowers up for my nieces and for my grandmother-in-law when I went to visit. I literally took 4 bunches of different flowers and said, can you make 3 bouquets out of this? And she did. And I was like, and they looked amazing. I was like, tried to give her some money, and she said, I can't take that. No, please, take it. No, I absolutely can't take that. I'll get fired.
Yeah, and that's garbage, too. I'm totally... When a company bars an employee from getting tipped, fuck you. That's between me and them. Now you're invading my fucking rights here as a customer. I fucking can't stand a company that blocks me from freaking tipping somebody.
Yeah, my job actually blocks me from getting tips, but fuck them. I actually tell my managers all the time, like, you get any tips? Yes, I did. Got about $20 in tips today. And I look them dead in their face, too, like, are you going to fire me? Just like, you know what? You go outside. You're right. Motherfucker.
Yeah, I see a company having a rule saying, hey, you can't ask for tips or you can't freaking do that. That's understandable, but you can't stop me from giving her a tip and risk them getting fired for accepting. That's fucking bullshit. Now, usually, like, when they're coming to my house, who's going to fucking catch them? You know? And usually I play it off like, hey, you dropped this. Here's your $5 that you dropped in my house. That's it. We both understand what's really going on here. Then leave, you know. But that is bullshit. I really look down on a company that blocks me from picking their employees. That's not your fucking business. Stay out of my life, you know.
You would look down on my company then.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the shitty thing here is there's no. I mean, imagine doing that to some other jobs. Like my wife's a nurse. You know, here you are, my wife comes in, cares for you, spends 12 hours with you, and I think, you know what, I don't think you really deserve to be paid for your time. Just buzz off, you know. That's terrible. That's not how we can do business in America, but except for these certain fucking jobs that suddenly we get to decide after the fact.
Well, it's not suddenly. This has been going on for way before we were even born, so you can't say the word suddenly. This has always been this way.
Well, yeah. I don't mean like I don't mean like it just started. I mean like, suddenly we get to these positions. This fucking mentality appears. I just don't see how it's beneficial, and I do know a lot of people in the service who do make decent money with their tips. It's just I don't think that they should have to rely on that.
I think you're right. I think strippers should be a flat rate.
Yeah, $20 a song. It's $20 a song. No, don't be fucking making me afterwards.
And what's so crazy too? I was about to bring out. Speaking of strippers, how do we feel about tipping who the waitresses?
I'm all for it if she's doing the right job. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Actually, I don't tip them as much as I do regular way, because sometimes I really go there to fucking eat, and just sitting here talking to me as if like you want to get me, bitch. You just want this tip. You ain't getting a goddamn thing.
Oh, she'll get a tip, all
Oh,
right.
yeah, she'll get the tip all right. I mean, if she allows me to, but, apparently no touching.
Wow, come on now, get the tip.
most
Hello
of the
there.
time I tip a Hooters waitress a little more than regular because she is providing entertainment along with waitressing. Now,
I mean, a lot of them don't really talk. A lot of them just had their titties out. I mean, I guess it is entertainment.
That's entertaining to me, man.
I guess that's entertainment.
You've clearly never gone to Hooters with Alone in the Dark. Half of the time he reaches for a chicken, he grabs a tit. It's very confusing.
Hey, you know what?
It's just for a wing, he grabs the thigh.
Can't tell the difference. They're both really orange in color.
I don't want a chicken leg, I want a breast.
Well, again, do you guys serve thighs?
just reaching all under the table. What are you doing, sir? Well, I'm looking for thighs. There's none on my plate. Come here. Come here, sweet tits. Come here, sugar lumps.
Sugar lumps, sweet tits, sugar nipples. I don't know.
But I have heard of some companies doing away, or some restaurants and shit, doing away with tips. Now, it does sound like they're blocking their employee, like you're not even allowed to tip anymore, and I don't think that's right, I think
Okay.
it's, hey, they're getting a full wage, so tipping is optional now, and
You know what? It's actually good you bring up this question today, because then let me throw you an interesting curveball on there. Cole Conscience, do you remember the restaurant in the downtown Baltimore harbor known as Dick's?
Last resort?
Good. I'm glad you do remember. All right. So let's say you go into a restaurant, right? And this is I'm not adding to the conversation or taking away. It's on topic, but it's a side question. Let's say you go into a restaurant and the predominant feature in this restaurant, the thing they bring to the market, is that everybody in the restaurant is an asshole to you.
Those Denny's.
What'd you say?
It's Denny's.
Close. At least Denny's, they're passive. In this store, they're aggressively assholes to you.
They're supposed to be. It's a
In fact, exactly. In fact, the biggest thing people go into this restaurant for is for terrible attitude. I mean, the service is still there. They're not going to delay with the food and all that. But they're going to insult you verbally. They're going to demean you emotionally and all that. Do you tip?
I mean, yeah, I've heard of
You're
that.
right there for that purpose.
Yeah, that's
That's not true. One of my sisters went there, had no clue what she was getting herself into.
By the way, that is one of the worst things.
Table for two, huh? Took her to the table and shut the menus at the table and said, "Sit down." Walked away. What the fuck?
I feel like me and Slow Chemical would thrive at that fucking job.
Yeah, one of the funnest things for me at that place was when it first opened. I had known about that restaurant before because I'd seen it somewhere else. I want to say in North Carolina, but I had known about that restaurant before. But when they opened in the harbor, there were a lot of business people in the harbor, and they love to experiment on their lunch. So one of our hobbies was to go there on lunch when it first opened and watch business people enter that place for the first time, not knowing what they were walking into. Man, you want to see some rich people get mad. Oh.
I wonder how many people stomped out of there. Like,
I want my money
Rich,
back.
the first few days, a lot stumped out of there. But after that, people kind of knew what the deal was.
I've heard of that before. It's something that doesn't really interest me. Like, my thing is, I'm really easy to freaking care for when I'm in a fucking restaurant. Just bring me my food. I don't even care if you don't refill my drinks. You know what? Fuck it. I'm not hurt feeling. The only thing I can't stand is when you don't bring me my fucking check and I'm just trapped in this goddamn restaurant. Like, looking for my fucking waitress to free me from this place, and but I'm white, so I can't do that. So that's one thing I can't fucking stand. Okay. But one thing, and this happened when me and the wife went out for Valentine's Day. We went to a really nice restaurant. It was a pretty nice place, sushi, you know. The waiter came, helped us, this and that. We're eating our food, and this fucking waiter came back like every 3 minutes to make sure we're okay. And I'm like, get the fuck away from me. Fucking meal and talk to my wife. We're trying to fucking talk about, hey, let's have sex for this. This is going to be the sexy time, right? Haired ass coming over talking to me. Leave me the fuck alone, you know?
See, if you throw him $5, I'm gonna say get lost, motherfucker. You'd been fine.
Yeah, I know. I probably should have done that. Jesus.
Yeah, but see that now I don't know if I would agree with that. I don't think I should pay you to get the fuck away from me. That's, you know what that feels like? That feels like when you go to Los Angeles or New York and you run into the street performers and they're doing all these amazing acts like flips and dances and stuff, and then if you've been to any of these places enough, there's always going to be one performer who's going to blow your mind, and then they're going to be like, all right, you guys ready for our big trick? But for our big trip, we're going to need a bunch of tips. And they're just going to start passing on, no, more tips, more tips, more tips. And then when they finally get tipped out, they go, thank you for everything, guys, and walk away.
Yeah, that happened to me once.
Yeah.
It's usually a midget dressed like a stripper.
Usually.
At least in Hollywood it is.
Or it's a very obese Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what I would like, a world where we live in where the tipping is optional and it's for great fucking service. If you're just doing okay, I mean, at my job, if you were not paying me every time I wasn't in a great mood or I wasn't smiling, you wouldn't be paying me a lot, you know? I don't think that should be part of it. You know, it's good if they do it. It's better. They should get a freaking better pay for doing that. But if they're not doing that, that's not killing it for me, at least. You know, if you just, as a matter of fact, there was one place I went to. It was a Vietnamese place that people said that it had great food, but they're like, the service is terrible. I'm like, well, I'll go fucking try it. And I'm pretty sure the lady there who waitressed the place also owned it. Because you walked in, I was like, yeah, I want to try some pho. She's like, no, you don't want to try that. You're going to try this. I'm like, okay. And she had a fucking bad attitude the whole time. Delivered me my food. The food was fucking amazing. She was right. I did totally want what she gave me instead. She freaking brought me my check and threw me out of the fucking building, and I fucking loved that place. Like fucking once a week because that was just fucking great. I got served. I didn't even have to make any fucking decisions. You know, I'm not saying, do you want Caesar salad? Do you want garden salad? No, this lady made all the fucking decisions for me. No,
but
gave my check and threw me out of the fucking building. There was no waiting there. You know?
Yeah, but that's the difference between a locally owned place and a corporation, a chain. With a locally owned place, that's more for people who like personal service, who like a rapport with the person they're interacting with that is a little beyond a scripted menu. So yeah, that's why places like that aren't ever going to completely phase out, even though they're always going to be a little more expensive than, say, a McDonald's or a Taco Bell. It's worth it just so you get, one, usually better quality food, and two, personal service, whether it's good or bad, personal service.
Yeah, it's a weird thing for me. Like, a lot of times, I have a hard time, like, I'll give you another example. Those fucking sign spinners, okay?
Go on.
When you got somebody spinning a sign out by the road, I look down on your company that you fucking have somebody doing that shitty-ass fucking job. You know?
For minimum wage.
Eating themselves over there, dancing in a fucking $100 bill suit with a fucking Liberty tax sign, fucking dancing around. Fuck your goddamn business. I'm never going there. Okay? Like, I hate it when companies force employees to do stupid fucking shit. Like Cold Stone, if you leave them a tip, I don't know if it's all Cold Stones, But there's one near where I used to live. You leave them a tip, they all fucking sing a jingle and some. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
They all
it's
do that.
it's supposed to be all Cold Stones. But I'm glad to hear you say that because I thought I was the only motherfucker that made a deal that if I see your sign spinner or your business dressed guy, I'm not coming to you.
I don't think I've ever visited an establishment
Yeah.
that had a sign spinner outside.
Yeah, I think that's very interesting because I've never, in fact, literally, that is one of the reasons I will avoid a business.
Yeah, I mean it's demeaning to the employees. Matter of fact, a company I worked for, if you got injured, okay, let's say you were fucking moving fucking boxes around, you hurt your back or something like that, you were injured, they would send you to work in the office so that you were still working, so it didn't it went on a different. There was a no time loss injury. You can't do your job because you hurt, but you could sit in the office and do fucking filing, stuff like that. That changed what part of workman's competent. But one thing that they wanted us to do is put people out on the road with a fucking sign. That way that they weren't enjoying themselves at our fuck. Because a lot of people, here they are throwing 45-pound boxes. Well, now they're sitting in an air conditioning office doing bullshit filing or fucking folding papers. They would rather do that, so when they go back to the doctor, they're like, "Oh yeah, my back is still hurting me," It's killing me. I got to stay on this for another week. So they wanted you to give them shitty tasks to do, so they wanted to go back to their regular job rather than stay with you. That's how I see it. This is your shitty task that you're giving these people. For no fucking reason. I mean, dancing with a fucking sign, fucking wearing these stupid fucking suits. If you're treating these people like shit, you're gonna treat me like shit too. I'm just gonna avoid your fucking company altogether.
So, what was the consensus on tipping?
I was just thinking that. I was like, wait. So, what did we decide on tipping?
The tip of the sign? Is that how we got here?
I don't change it. I mean, it's too ingrained in society. There's people that want to fucking fight for it. But I would love to have it changed where a person's wages aren't freaking reliant on a tip. If you don't get a tip, you're not working for free.
That was one of the points I was going to throw out there. I was going to say, I think part of the problem with that is we would need to know how much an average restaurant business makes because they're always competing, obviously, with corporations. So is this something to do with the restaurant bottom line, or is this like a Walmart where they're making insane amounts of money and just being absolutely greedy? I don't know which.
A lot of restaurants are running on a very low margin, Those fuckers go bankrupt all the fucking time.
Yeah.
But if it was standardized, though, all of us as I mean, you have to pay it either way, If I'm paying $2 $4, man, But I don't think there's a solid way to fix it, at least without it throwing the whole fucking market in a goddamn flux for a good while. But I do enjoy seeing that these little businesses come out saying, "Hey, we're paying our people full wages." I just hate that the only way they seem to do it is by blocking you from giving their employees a tip. You're not allowed to give them tips now because we're giving them full. No. Still let me give them a tip. Just don't make it's my responsibility to make sure your employee's actually working for a wage.
I'll get there. I give you that. I can get there. I can get there paying them a livable wage, and then if I feel the desire,
I feel the service is better. Yeah.
Service, then I can get there. I really could.
I don't see anything wrong with it. It's a good logic. I think that's how it should be.
But I'm the same guy who said that we should, outlaw pumping your own gas just to employ more people. So,
we don't hold that against you, libertarian.
Hey. A lot of people can be employed.
Hey man, fixing that goddamn unemployment problem.
Well, if we give more jobs to ISIS, they'll cut it out.
Oh Jesus, yeah. Don't. We'll we'll get into that. I'm working on a conversation about that. We'll get into that in a bit because the rage people are starting to get into about this thing. But I don't want to start this show because I want it to be a whole show. I know tempers are gonna flare on this one, so.
All right.
Fuck those people though. Fucking ISIS.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody want that shit come to their house. You know what I mean? But anyways, who's got anything else? That's the end of my topic.
Nah, I'm good. I'm ready to go.
You guys ready?
I'm good.
Well, who's got parting shots then? Anything?
Tom Cruise is a mediocre actor.
Shots fired, Tom Cruise. Your move. Oh, by the way, Puppet Master, when Scientology comes for you, I'll take care of your wife and kids.
Right, because I'm worried about those crazy fuckers.
If you're not, you should be, homie.
Now, ISIS is way more dangerous than those fuckers.
You know what? Debatable.
Really? Because last time I checked, Scientology wasn't beheading people.
Not that you know of. I'm going to tell you right now. Trust me. I've looked into those fucks, and the little bit I know, it's concerning.
The difference between ISIS and Scientology is the people that Scientologists are beheading are fucking putting their head in the goddamn. Yeah, do it! Fucking do it!
I know, right?
Point.
Be in level 11 coming right now, baby. Come on.
Xenu, take me home.
You tell Tom and John where to get me.
Oh, well, Travolta, you know, he's a little more into the whatever.
I heard
We'll get into that, too. That and Bruce Jenner.
You just have drugs, you'll believe in anything.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
You got any parting shots?
About my mouth. Cool.
Cold
Cold
conscience?
conscience. I think a moment of silence for a departed brother.
I think he fell asleep.
Go with the gods. You know, those black men do die early, so that might have been it for him.
It's the chicken. It's the chicken.
Lived out his life expectancy. What about you, Mr. Esther?
Oh no, I got no parting shots. Just Bruce Jenner, man, do what you do. That's my parting shot.
And I'm just saying, if you guys want to tip me for this show, okay? Email address.
Oh!
Description
All
below.
right, real quick before we run out. Quick question. So, quick debate we had at work. What's the female for Bruce?
For Bruce?
Yeah, if Bruce Jenner is going to be a woman, he's going to have to turn his name female, right? What is there a female for Bruce?
Lucy?
Lucy. That's about as
Right?
it's about as female. Yeah, I guess that's as female as that. Guess. Bruce Willis, Lucy Willis. Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a really weird. That's a weird situation. I saw some pictures of that guy, and people say he's turning into a woman, but he's not trying very hard. You know, like, fucking weird and cold in the day. I mean,
I will say, you know what? Oh my God! I think I might actually invite our friend Alone in the Dark for that conversation.
that'll be fun. See if you get.
Yeah, let me see if I can get my friend on for that conversation. Oh, this is gonna be good for Puppet Master.
What happened?
You don't think I like gay people?
Oh, this ain't gay, homie.
Hey, whatever. Whatever's clever, right?
You know, look, man, I consider myself a real tolerant man, and even I had some adjusting to do.
Shit. Don't worry about it. I'll be good.
Adjusting your pants. Let you
not even close, yo. Not even close. Anyway, yeah, that was it. That was it for me. That was it.
All right, I'm shutting down this goddamn show. We'll see you guys next week, hopefully at the same time. And yeah, I mean, just go out, give some big tips, and think about me the whole time. You know, that's all I gotta say.
Give him the tip. Just the tip. Even you, ladies, you can give him the tip.
Yeah, give him that.
That old tip.
Cold conscious from did we skip past that?
This boy wakes up from the ashes.
They said chicken.
You know what?
Go.
Food addict, man. Like just, I'm not sleeping. Man, you've been sleeping for the last 15 minutes.
I wasn't sleeping. It's just that my parents said chicken. I had to go downstairs.
This is Alone in the Dark in Colorado. Okay.
Okay. Jonathan Esther out of California.
This would be the Puppet Master.
Cold conscious out of snowy Baltimore, Maryland.
No way.
That shit's cold up there.
Yeah, no joke.
Anyway, we'll see you guys next week. You be thinking about us and have your fucking tips ready when we show up next time. And good night.